The Godfather Part 2, Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Any good sequel, like those all are, capitalizes on what came before it, making the world bigger and raising the stakes to unprecedented levels. There are some sequels that are eagerly wanted by cinematic audiences like Star Wars Episode 8 or Captain America Civil War, and then there are some that you didn't think you wanted, but that's only because you didn't know they were coming, and also you really didn't want them. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 sequels you didn't know were coming in 2016. Number 10, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, March 25th. Now let's start by saying that the idea of a Big Fat Greek Wedding sequel does actually make some sort of sense. After all, the first film was very good, and it became something of a runaway success story, earning $368 million worldwide on its budget of $5. That's 7,260% profit. That is utterly bonkers, conkers, redonkulous. With that in mind, the only unbelievable fact about all of this is that it's taken 13 years for a producer to strong-arm writer and lead actor Nia Vardalos into making another. Then again, maybe the reason is that with the story of Big Fat Greek Wedding being, over at the end of the movie, everyone involved thought that, hey, maybe the world doesn't need a BFGW2. Universal Pictures disagreed, so over a decade later, here we go again with the Windex. Number 9, Barbershop, The Next Cut, April 15th. From one decade-late sequel to another, Barbershop, The Next Cut, which I think is a pun? Is it? I think it is. Doesn't quite make sense, is the third movie in the Ice Cube-driven franchise if you don't count Beauty Shop, and I for one do not count Beauty Shop. It has been 12 years since the last Barbershop movie, but in the tradition of things being so old they're new again, Calvin Jr. and co are back, and by co, I mean it's a huge cast including Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, Regina Hall, Anthony Anderson, Eve, Tiger, Sean Patrick Thomas, J.B. Smooth, yes that's his name, Common, and Nicki Goddamn Minaj. Yep, Nicki Minaj is in this. The big question is, after 12 years, can it live up to the standards set by the first movie? Well, it's directed by the guy who directed Soul Plane and Scary Movie 5, so no. Number 8, The Huntsman, Winter's War, April 22nd. Snow White and the Huntsman was generally regarded as being fairly significantly shit, but because it made $100 million profit, once more with feeling. This time around, they've ditched the whole Snow White part of it because, yeah, The Huntsman is really where the brand recognition lies in the franchise. It's got Chris Hemsworth in it, which is a good thing. It's got Charlize Theron in it, which is a good thing. And it hasn't got Kristen Stewart in it, and that's the hat trick. Can the movie capitalize on Hemsworth's charm and bring in bank? Will the fact that the movie is both a prequel and a sequel make it an utterly confusing mess? It doesn't matter because I will never ever watch it.
I've missed you.
Number 7, Bad Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising, May 20th. Yep, they're making a sequel to Bad Neighbors, or as it's known in the States, Neighbors. Now, Bad Neighbors was pretty good, and it was a pleasant surprise to see that Zac Efron is following the Channing Tatum route of pretty boy who can properly go in a comedy, but who in the blue hell wanted to see a sequel? Case in point, without looking them up online, tell me just one of the characters' names. Just one. Just one of the characters' names. You can't do it, because Bad Neighbors wasn't built around memorable characters that you want to spend more time with. Instead, it was built around a jokey concept, and once the concept was done, the movie's done. And they seem to be just repeating that concept verbatim with movie number 2, except with a sorority instead of a fraternity. Can the entire film survive on the whole it's girls not boys gimmick? Time will tell, but it's hard to argue that there aren't one or two big laughs in the Red Band trailer. There, I admit it. Dumbass! Number 6, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Half Shell, June 3rd. Wait, what? No, we just did this! We just did the Turtles movie! How is it happening again? Less than 2 years after the first one hatched like a malformed egg filled with blood spiders, we get another go around with these charmless, ugly, incoherent, ugly turtles. The first movie was panned pretty much across the board and accurately charged with assassinating people's childhoods, but hey, it's got something to do with Michael Bay and it's got Megan Fox in it. You put those things together with a nostalgia-based franchise and you got the license to print money, apparently. Also, it's got Sheamus in it. Sheamus, the people's champion. There's no word on what the plot is yet, and that sensation will probably continue until after the credits have rolled. Number 5, Mechanic Resurrection, August 26th. The Mechanic wasn't the Transporter. No, you're confusing it with the Transporter. Also, it's not Blitz. You may be thinking of Hummingbird or Safe. No, you're confusing it with Homefront or Killer Elite. Oh, sod it, it's a Jason Statham movie. But for some reason, it's a sequel, and one that's taken 5 whole years to be made. In Mechanic Resurrection, not The Mechanic Resurrection, we have no room for the word the, not when the Stath's forehead is around to take up room on the poster. In the film, fans will see the welcome return of... any guesses? Arthur Bishop, that's right, you remembered. It'll probably be the typical Statham-y fare, a big guy with a wispy voice going around and breaking a lot of people's streaks of never having been murdered before. Do you want to see it? Did you want to see the first one? Does God exist? What is love? Number 4, Inferno, October 14th. They're still making Dan Brown movies? That's still a thing? The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons were a bold attempt at weaponizing mediocrity, yet the books continue to sell like a plague of really bad hotcakes, so here we are. This is really strange though. Tom Hanks is great. Why does he continue to play Professor Stupid? Does he owe Ron Howard a life debt? Does he really hate the church? Maybe he really likes wearing that wig. So anyway, the third film is going to happen and there's nothing you can do to stop it. In this film, Langdon has amnesia, so you know it's going to be a really good evening, guys. And speaking of films that just keep going on forever, number 3, Underworld, Next Generation, October 14th. Really? Really? There's going to be a 5th Underworld movie? I don't even... Number 2, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, October 21st. Between this and Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise is the scariest goddamn 50-year-old on the planet. Seriously, don't mess with his grandkids or he'll capable you to death. Despite many people on the internet being cross that Tom Cruise is almost exactly half as tall as Jack Reacher should be, the first film was fine. Wasn't great, wasn't bad, it was fine. It had Jai Courtney in it, it was fine. And hey, apparently, there's a sequel coming out in October, so everyone look forward to having that on Netflix in the background some night in 2018. Number 1, The Strangers 2, December 2nd. Hang on, I just have to Google The Strangers. Who the hell's Scott Speedman? Alright. So, horror makes money. That's just one of the cardinal rules of filmmaking. It costs bugger all to make and there's a seemingly unquenchable market for it. Case in point, The Strangers, that movie from 2008 that we all forgot. Cost $9 million to make and made 80. In 2009 they announced a sequel. 7 years later it'll actually arrive. And you know what? It'll still make money. It won't make the world a better place, but it'll probably be okay if you like that sort of thing. I guess that can be said of every movie on this list really. Except for the Underworld movie. The Underworld movie. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com and I'll see you soon.